future of virtual motorsports is now. This September, the heart of sim racing beats in Chicagoland, as the Sim Gaming Expo takes over the Schaumburg Convention Center, September 5th through the 7th. Go wheel to wheel in our competition area, test the latest gear, Meet top brands, creators, and celebrate with fellow sim racing enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or new to the sport, this is your chance to be part of history. To purchase tickets and see the full exhibitor lineup, visit simgamingexpo.com.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome to Darlington Raceway, the Lady in Black for tonight's Southern Thunder Truck Series. I'm here with James Watson tonight. I'm Sean Signori. We guys are going to bring you some heavy, close contact racing. How you feeling tonight, James? Looking forward to it?
Absolutely. How can you not be excited whenever you come to Darlington? Darlington is one of the greatest and most historic tracks in the entirety of NASCAR. The thing I love about this place is that every time you come here, you feel like you're in a time machine getting taken back to the roots of the sport, and there's just nothing more special. This is why Throwback Weekend is always held here.
It certainly is a special place, and been here once before myself, and the history just gives you goosebumps here being here. Everything's kind of old school grandstands, old school racetrack, old school racing. Well, you're going to be out there tonight actually giving it a go in your 39 Blue Thunder truck. How you feeling about that? Is the truck feeling good?
Scared.
Yeah, I get that, and I would be scared racing here as well, especially with these guys from down under.
Yeah, I love this place, but I'm always tend to be hit or miss at Darlington. In some circumstances, I can get a pretty good finish, with tire conservation being one of my better skills, but I'm not as consistent with it. Like, some races I'll be really good at it, some races I'll absolutely burn the right front to nothing and not even know why. So
you mentioned tire strategy, and that's obviously one of our big keys to the race tonight here at Darlington. The first key tonight is going to be managing that Darlington Stripe. Hitting the wall is a given here. It depends on how many times you hit that wall and how hard you hit that wall. Ain't that right, James?
absolutely, and with these trucks being the older sheet metal bodies, they can't really hold up to nearly as much contact as, say, the next gen or the Xfinity car. So you got to be real careful with that one. Darlington Stripe could very well end your night.
How many stripes you going to get tonight?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Well, our second key is going to be tire wear and long run pace. Darlington's an old surface. It's going to eat those tires up like a cheese grater. So you got to conserve them. You got to be easy on them, especially with these long runs here. Are very likely to happen. Cautions don't come out here as often. And our third key to the race: pit strategy and track position. Passing here at Darlington is always at a premium. It's so hard to get a run on somebody if they aren't making the mistake in front of you. So keeping that track position and not making mistakes that loses it, like on pit road and on restarts, is vital to staying up front here at Darlington. And with that, we're going to check out our point standings leading into this race. Brad Newman still atop of the standings with 7 wins on the year. Second place, last year's champion Ruben Phelps, 120 points behind. Good couple races back, but anything can happen. Lachlan Urquio in third with his 3 wins. Matty Raymond in 4th. Brian Blundell in 5th. Andy Barber 6th. Mark Grocott in 7th. Ryan Barber in 8th. Brad Wright 9th. And Jason Holdsworth rounds out the top 10. So, James, out there, you're going to be conserving tires, and we don't know where you're going to be starting just yet, but what are your thoughts going into the first run of this thing?
I'm just gonna putt around in the back, try to make sure I don't hear any tire squeal, and see where I'm at. The hopes is that everyone else can eat the right front and I can just eke out a consistent pace and get them there on the long run as we start to get into our pit stops.
One thing I've noticed about Darlington here on iRacing is that everybody tends to have a little bit of a different line getting around here. It's not like, Bristol or Martinsville where everybody's running the same braking points and the same lines through the corner. What do you do differently here that you would say you do differently than the other guys that you've seen racing?
Well, I mean, when it comes to 1 and 2, there aren't as many different lines as you can take that are really effective. You basically got to take that kind of diamond line where you who turn in early, kind of clip the apron, slide up to the wall in the middle of the corner, and then cut back down on the exit. You can maybe try to get away with running lower the whole way around, but you're gonna likely pound the wall
in 1 and 2. Yeah,
exactly. So,
3
but
and
3 and
4.
Precisely, and I tend to focus on running the bottom, although I have been messing around with a diamond line here of sorts as well, where I enter in low, kind of go up a bit, and then straight shot off, and that honestly has seemed to have helped me quite a bit. At least it did in a Gen 4 car. It remains to be seen with this thing.
I've always liked the bottom in 3 and 4 myself here. As we see some trucks going around for qualifying, that is the 81 right there, Brenton Henderson, beginning his first lap. Lachlan Urquio on top of the charts right now, the 29.87. Brian Barber in second, about a tenth and a half off of him. Andy Barber to the pole position right now, and now Brad Newman beats him to it. Brad Newman up front with a 28.6. We've seen him put in some work recently in this series, taking home win after win, and he looks like he's trying to make himself a favorite for tonight.
Absolutely. There's a reason why he's the points leader.
As we see James Watson, a reporter in the race, out on the track right now. He's going to clock in the 5th position. Brian Blundell going down the back. This 86 truck is a constant in this league every week. He's had some good runs here as of recent.
That he has. He's just slowly but surely chipping away at it.
Getting better.
Exactly.
The only way you're going to get better is get laps and start and race guys that are better than you. It's one thing you don't get as much as officials when you're, down a couple thousand I rating compared to the guys up front. You don't race them as often. You come into these leagues like this, you can race guys of Brad Newman's caliber every week. Nigel Seidel, a new name for this series this week, running this Dalmatian looking truck. That's a sure of a hell of a way to get noticed.
Absolutely.
Can't miss that thing. Yeah, it might be a cow. Yeah, it might be a cow. He's a cow farmer. Didn't think they had cows in Australia. I thought cows were a New Zealand thing. We're going to go step away and go to an ad here real quick. We'll be back with the start of this race here from Darlington.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Lady in Black here tonight, as we are gridding up and getting ready for tonight's race here at Darlington, the Southern Thunder Truck Series. Our starting grid: Brad Newman on the pole here in his 33 truck, Jason Holdsworth on the outside. Andy Barber starting third, Matty Ray in fourth. Ryan Barber in 5th. Brian Blundell comes home in 6th. James Watson, our reporter, in the race starting 7th, and Lachlan Urquio starting 8th. Brenton Henderson with the P9 start tonight, and Nigel Seidel starting 10th. Ruben Phelps, our reigning champion in the 06 without a qualifying time, starting 11th. And Peter Jones starting in 12th. Colin Bennett in his 242 starting 13th, and Mark Grocott starting 14th. And last on the grid is going to be Zach Blundell in his 26 truck. And that's going to bring us to our picks for the race. Now, James, who did you think had something for him here tonight? Well, I'm going to give you guys my pick. It's always going to be Ruben Phelps in that 06 truck. Can't go wrong. What about you, James? What are you thinking?
To avoid the chalk pick, I'm going with Andy. He was fastest, one of the fastest in practice, and put the truck P3 on the grid.
And our producer, Kobe, what do your wise words of wisdom tell us for tonight?
Well, this week, gentlemen, I am going to stick with my pick of Jason Holdsworth. Like I said last week, he's a master strategist, and with given a long green run, he's going to figure it out and put this thing on the pointy end. Unfortunately, last week, we had to cut the race short due to the lights not being on. Somebody forgot to pay the electricity bill. So hopefully this week, we can see what I've been talking about, and we'll see him on the top step come 130 laps.
Master strategist, man. It sounds like an old school military man, you know, Robert E. Lee or Napoleon, something of that matter. Master strategist. Gotta watch out for that Jason Holdsworth. He'll come and take your land.
Didn't they all lose, though?
No. Napoleon won a lot, man. Napoleon...
He won a lot until he didn't.
Then he lost, yeah. And died on an island alone. But anyway...
You're always as good as your last one.
I guess so. Coming down for the green flag here, your pole sitter, Brad Newman, trying to win his 8th race of the year. Off to a good start already, as he is going to start up front. The green is out here at Darlington. As we got a side-by-side battle going down to turn 1. That A-truck with a great start on the outside. Jason Holdsworth side-by-side with Brad Newman. It's a battle of the bright blue cars coming off of turn 2. It is won by Brad Newman. He's going to take that lead and hold on to it coming down the backstretch. A-truck's going to slide behind him in 2nd, and you have Andy Barber in 3rd coming down to turn 3.
Yeah, those turquoise trucks are reigning supreme right now. Clean and green on lap 1, though.
Great point. Most of the yellows here, they happen in these first couple laps. We can get 2-3 laps on the board. We're looking clean and green for a long ways here. As Jason Holdsworth gets a little bit of a run coming down off turn 2 on Brad Newman. Gonna stick behind him for the moment. Try and study his opponent. Like we said earlier, it's hard to make the pass here at Darlington. It comes many corners ahead.
Yeah, it's something you gotta set up corner after corner after corner. You know, you're not typically gonna get a massive run unless someone makes a mistake. Although here comes Holdsworth looking to the inside. And
big move by Jason Holdsworth. He's going to get it done and through the center 1 and 2. Now Andy J. Barber to the inside of Brad Newman. Trying to make him sweat for that 2nd position. Coming down into turn 1. Jason Holdsworth, your new leader, out in front. It's the first time I've seen someone go around Brad Newman like that early in a race. Big, bold statement move there for Holdsworth as around goes Andy J. into 2nd spot. Taking advantage of Brad kind of getting off his kilter there when he got past, lifting for the 8 truck. Took advantage of it all, and now he is sitting in 2nd spot ahead of Brad Newman. And Matty Ray back there in that 83, he is just watching and waiting.
Yeah,
I think he always does.
Yeah, I think Andy's pass on Brad might have been a bit of a business decision, and you're going to see a lot of that tonight. You know, Darlington is kind of the king, or the queen, rather, I should say, of business decisions, because You know as well as I do, going side by side here is not easy. It is very easy to mess up. It is very easy for both vehicles to end up in tatters, especially if you're going side by side through 1 and 2. So typically, if someone's got a run and they're at that right position, you'll often just kind of let them go because it's just not worth the stress and the risk. So you won't see any hard side-by-side racing for the most part until we get around, 20 laps to go or so. Then we'll
20
see
laps.
it become...
I'm expecting it sooner than that. You're going to start seeing people not give it up 50 laps to go, 60 laps to go in this race, I'll tell you that.
I don't know about that, just because, 50 laps to go is a long time at Darlington, and that's a long time for these tires. Darlington is the quintessential tire eater. The right front will be nothing.
Jason Holdsworth actually looking pretty good at the moment, maintaining his lead over Andy J. Barber, as we see here on the screen. I expect a couple of these guys to be saving some tires, though. I feel like Brad, being smart, kind of saving a little bit of extra rubber here. That is what I'm seeing, especially on the timesheet. He is getting faster and faster lap by lap. But very impressive move here at the beginning for this 8 truck and Jason Holdsworth getting that clean air for himself.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, there's no better tire conservation aid than clean air.
Most definitely. Andy J running second, up 1 spot. Started third, and we saw him take advantage of that side-by-side action. One of the best battles on track, though, has been back here with Nigel Seidel and Ruben Phelps.
Oh, Ryan Barber hard into the outside wall off of turn 2.
You are right there, James. You knew it was right there in front of you. What do you think happened?
I think traditional turn 2 Darlington things happened. That this corner is so difficult because you never truly know where you're going to end up until you're going through it. Sometimes you think you nail it, but only end up nailing the wall.
Yeah, he got into the wall in the center of 1 and 2, and that will kind of drag you out wide, and definitely got a piece of that wall coming off of turn 2. Be interesting to see if that 194 does have any damage on it. Still rocking that tribute number. You saw him get a piece of the wall right there on the replay. Seems to have recovered okay. Still in front of James.
Yeah, I'm just vibing.
As James has got his hands full. That is the 81 of Bretton Henderson behind him. James is in the wall coming through the turns 3 and 4. To the inside goes Ruben Phelps as well, trying to take advantage of this. James is going to give it up and let these guys go about their day. Because now he's got a mirror full of that 15 of Nigel. We need to stay on James here. He's going to get a little tight coming off turn 2. Here comes that 15 truck to the inside. Doesn't make the move, bows out of it.
Yeah, it's weird. All of a sudden, I just can't turn anymore.
You'll get back into your rhythm. Don't worry about us. There's a battle up here in front of him as Ruben Phelps gets around that 81. I'm sure that was some teammate work at play there. It's James still with the mirror. That 15 truck bot in his mirror. I'd say let this fella by. Tight battle here for 10th spot.
Yeah, I just need to get my bearings back.
Remember, you're the driver. I'm the crew chief of this thing, remember? That's the deal we made. Get on your butt, chase after that 81 truck. As we got a battle for the lead up front. Andy J has closed in on Jason Holdsworth. Seemingly over the last couple laps while we were messing with James, he has closed in that half-second gap. Really put some pressure on the back of this 8 truck. Interesting to see if maybe this 8 truck kind of burnt his stuff up there early, getting around Brad and taking off. Or if Andy J is just slowly closing in lap after lap. And
Yeah,
right behind
Andy's
them
putting
is... I'm about to say, right behind them is that 33 of Brad Newman. He is slowly creeping into the picture as well. Now Andy J's got a mirror of him. Got a little loose off of turn 4 last time by. That 5 truck did. Brad gets a little piece of that wall. Andy gets a little piece of that wall. Maybe a little bit bigger piece than Brad did. This battle for second starting to make these guys trip over themselves a little bit. That will happen here. You start racing these cars, you forget about racing the track. And that is the bigger picture here sometimes. Because this track, it will remind you lap after lap. As to the inside, Brad Newman to Andy J side by side, not giving it up. Through the center of 1 and 2, Andy J is going to get sideways, saves it. He's going to lose the position there to Matty Ray going down to turn 3. Good job there by Andy J to maintain control of that truck through the center of 1 and 2. Kind of lifted in a little bit of a weird spot and seemed like the back end came around on him.
Yeah, that worked out perfectly for Matty Ray now. Now that he only has just a handful of trucks to go, let's see if he can run down Holdsworth and try to make a play for the lead.
And that's just one of those racing deals here at Darlington.
Lockie Acquisio just got sent to the pits off of connection issues.
Yeah, I guess that 42 truck of Lachlan Urquio having a little bit of a connectivity issue. iRacing decided to park him for the night.
Yeah, and he
was
just
running back
retired.
behind James. That is not good news for the 42 team.
No. Yeah, that's...
Luckily, Lachlan's had
done.
some success this season, and you can afford to have mishaps like that. Can't blame Lachlan either. It's the equivalent, I guess, of a mechanical failure or blown motor for the 42.
Yeah.
We see this battle here heating up as our buddy James has closed in on Brenton Henderson at 81 truck.
And we're both running down Junior.
Ryan Barber up in front of him. Ryan hit the wall pretty hard here a couple laps ago. As James gets a run on that 81, he's going to make the pass here. Well, at least try to make the pass going down to turn 3. 81's going to get a little piece of that wall there, kind of gets stuck on it. That will happen through the center. James takes a spot, moves up into 8th, and sets his sights on that 194. And Ryan Barber on the radio saying he is struggling. That truck is a little tore up. He needs a yellow flag desperately. He just might be the yellow flag the way that truck's looking through the center.
Yeah.
As our reporter in the race, James Watson's going to close in on him. And that 39 Blue Thunder truck get a big run here off of turn 4. It's going to close in all the way down this straightaway. This is going to be for the 7th position. Oh, as that 194 truck kind of slides up in the entry there. Heads up driving by James to check up for that. He's not going to want to mess around. He's going to take this spot going down to turn 3. Still side by side though. Ryan's not giving it up. He gets out of the gas a little bit there, and James is going to clear him coming off of turn 4. Up into the 6th position, or 7th position is James Watson. All right, James, now get on after that 86 truck. We know you got it in you.
Yeah, feeling a little better. Yeah, it was just like completely lost my rhythm and just could not get it back, and now finally start to get it. And you know, that's the that just proves the point of how difficult Darlington is and the type of way you have to drive it. It's a
Back
pure...
up front. Hold on a second, James. Sorry, we got something happening up front. Jason Holdsworth closing in on that 73 truck. Lap traffic is always a big issue here. I'll come back to you, James, after he gets by this fella here. Lap traffic is always tricky for the leaders here. There's just nowhere for these slower cars to go. Battle back in the pack here is the 81 truck. Oh, Jason's gets, as the 73 gets up into the wall, that's going to cost Jason Holdsworth just about his whole lead. As Brad Newman closes in on him, I saw it coming. And Brad Newman, that lead is going to go from a second and a half to about 0.3 of a second. And now he has a mirror full of that 33 truck. If we can get a replay of that last time around, that was great heads-up driving by that 8 truck. Just got caught in a bad spot. Would have been the beginning of this lap. Just caught that 73 in a bad spot going into the beginning of turns 1. Just held him up right there in the beginning. That is very, very costly when you are the leader working for every 1/10 of a second. But he has rebounded since we have talked about it and went to replay. He has gapped Brad Newman by 0.6, and that lead is back up almost up to a second now.
Whoa, the Barbers have retired from this race, both of them, Andy and Ryan.
And we got some connection issues going on here throughout the pack as the 5 truck and the 194 are both sent to the pits. I don't think it was a connection issue. I think they just had some issues with the trucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that Ryan had brought it down pit road a few laps before because he was having a lot more struggles with that damaged truck, but Andy was a surprise. He had been passed by Phelps, but he was still running good, so that is a massive shock.
Andy was struggling based on his lap times here. Kind of falling off a cliff. I wonder if he had hit that wall in a spot and bent that truck up one too many times. But he is done for the day. As we go back out to the race out here, Ruben Phelps working his way through the pack wonderfully. Has caught the 83 of Matty Ray. That's going to be for the 3rd position. Ruben started all the way back in 11th. My pick for tonight, Ruben Phelps, moving his way up through the pack. Great move by Rubes there to get up into 3rd spot. A little bit of teammate action. Ooh. That 83 giving him some space. So we go back. We got a battle for 5th on the speedway.
Yeah, Brian Blundell hit the wall off of 2.
And here you go to the inside. Gonna make the job pretty
quick.
Oh,
he got the wall again.
Yeah, he got the wall again, as you said, coming off of turn 4. Real sideways. Trying to collect that truck, and he will. As we are only 32 laps into this stint, and guys are slipping and sliding all over the place.
Yeah, my rears are starting to wear, and I am a happy boy because of that, because now this thing is really starting to handle how I prefer it.
2.5 seconds off of our qualifying times. And 32 laps. Oh! As the 73 pulls down in front of James, more heads-up driving. Not to run in the back of him there. 73 has just been causing issues getting lapped for a couple other guys as well. There's just nowhere for these slow trucks to go. Common theme here at Darlington. Can't make out who that truck is. That's the 66 of Peter Jones. Down off the racetrack. He just came out of the pits, made a green flag stop. Maybe a little bit of strategy play here. About that time, especially if all these guys struggling as much as they have. So he said we are 2 seconds off of our qualifying times. That is a big drop off as 2nd place Brad Newman comes down on pit lane. Big move here, 30 laps into this race. Might be something you want to think about, James.
That's way too early for me. Like I know that it's going to be a massive amount of time gained on the undercut, but I just feel like the overcut is going to be massive. And I was already a decent way behind him anyway, so I don't think this should really change my strategy. I'm just going to try the more of an overcut as trying something different and see how that works.
Jason Holdsworth staying out yet another lap here. I think he's going to do the same. I don't think he's going to worry about Brad's strategy at the moment and worry about himself. Stay out as long as he needs to. Brad coming off pit road here off of turn 2. He's going to be one to watch with his new tires. Be interesting to see how fast he is and what lap times he is able to put down compared to these leaders. One thing about Darlington, too, is this pit road is long. It is a long pit road. So coming down and taking any sort of extra pit stops is a race killer. It's very hard to make up that time, even with fresher tires.
And more importantly, it's also a sneaky difficult pit road, too, because you're kind of having to take almost late apex into it, just kind of
Heads up, James, on your mirror. Here he goes. You're going to see those new tires yourself right there. Drive away through the center of 1 and 2. See you later, Brad Newman. Rocket Man right now. Feeling like Superman with those new tires.
Yeah, that was a business decision to end all business decisions. I saw that. I'm like, nope. Go on by.
I was hoping you didn't think about blocking him. Dang, that wasn't going to work out with that speed. As the 15 truck Nigel Seidel comes down pit road, he had just gotten lapped by Jason Holdsworth. Along with that 242 of Colin Bennett, he is now also behind that 8 truck, a lap down. We're going to be seeing a couple of those guys possibly make pit stops, trying to fight for that lucky dog position.
But yeah, as I was saying, you kind of got to take a late apex into it and kind of just turn down. You have to. It's such a unique entry because you have to make sure that you're in that big yellow line. You're to the inside of that line. Otherwise, you'll get a unsafe pit entry penalty. And that line comes up on you quick. You see all that pavement, you're like, oh, I got time. I'll be okay. I'm not okay.
It's hard to see as well with that sun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things. I'm sure we'll see somebody here do it tonight, especially with these Australian racers. Maybe not all too up to date on some of these NASCAR tracks.
Yeah,
I saw it. Back to our leader up front, Jason Holdsworth. Sorry, James, what were you about to say?
I saw Zach Blundell struggle with it earlier when he brought it down pit road. The rear came around on him and he spun past the line, but thankfully kept it out of the pit road wall, which is also very easy to well, this case it's easy to not miss, if that makes any sense.
Darlington's one of those tough pit roads in all of oval racing. And Darlington is just one of those tough tracks. Here we are, not even halfway in this race, and we got 4 trucks out of this race already. As Zach Blundell's coming out of the pits just now after a lengthy stay. He is 15 laps down, quite out of it, and our second place truck, Ruben Phelps, who inherited second place, comes down to make his pit stop. He's gone a whole 10 laps farther than Brad Newman, 8 laps. So it's going to be interesting to see how the tire delta flips later on in this run. As we know, Brad's out there making up some good time with these fresh tires.
Yeah,
he's already worked his way to the back bumper of this 8 truck to get his lap back. He gets around that 242. Colin Bennett kind of caught him in a weird spot there. He's going to move up on this 73. He's been interesting tonight for just about everybody who's come across him. Brad Newman's going to come back around this 8 truck here to try to get his lap back, just in case that yellow comes out. Do you see that speed difference with that new tires even after 10 laps out on the race course? Brad just makes it look like child's play, like he's in a different class of car. Gets
Yeah,
his
like
lap
he's
back
got-
and he's gonna,
he's
the
got-
prototype.
Yeah. What you said.
Yeah, Brad's out there in an LMP2. His fresh tires as Matty Ray comes down onto pit road to make his pit stop. An 8 truck, Jason Holdsworth, still out there making laps. Same for our reporter in the race, James Watson. So that's our new second place truck is James. It's Matty Ray comes down pit road. Yeah, try to lead a lap while you're at it.
Yeah,
Nice
we'll
smooth
see.
into the box. It's 83. Interested to see how far back behind Brad Newman is Ruben Phelps. Looking at about 15 seconds. It's quite a gap. Maybe even more. He was 15 seconds behind the 242. Now he's 20 seconds behind Brad Newman. That is quite a gap to build in 10 laps. 8 laps on fresher tires. Brad Newman built a 20-second gap on Ruben Phelps. Maybe a little bit of that came on the pit stop itself. Maybe Ruben made a mistake that we did not see. But that is quite an advantage to have right now at the moment.
Absolutely, but just as quickly as that gap springs up, it can be willed away just like that. The tire wear, it can get so extreme here that potentially you might be 2 seconds off pace towards the end of
We've
this
seen
run.
it potentially. We saw it already. It's 2.5 seconds off pace. There's no potentially about it. It is going to happen. And it's going to flip at some point in this run, but at 20 seconds, it almost feels insurmountable. But it's going to happen. As James is going to come down and make his pit stop. Lap 50. That's my strategy. What the hell? Taking my strategy and using it. Not many do that. James comes down pit road as that 8 truck stays out yet again. But as we've seen, Brad Newman's already down in that 30-second range. Only about 1.5 seconds faster than Jason per lap at the moment. Only 1.5 seconds faster. That's still quite a gap. As here he comes down pit road, that 8 truck, Jason Holdsworth. As we were talking about it, he's going to make his pit stop here. That is going to hand the lead over to Brad Newman this time by as he comes around, turns 3 and 4. He's going to pass that 8 truck who's not even gotten to his box yet. That's how long this pit road is. New leader on the racetrack, Brad Newman in that 33 with this strategy. Be interesting to see what Ruben Phelps can do. Last time around, he was about 0.3 quicker. 0.3 is 0.3, but I'd say he wants to be a little bit more if he wants to close in on this gap here.
66.71. That is your tire wear report. 66.71.
Oh, you got some more to reuse up, and that's only you're not even 40% on the right front, and you're 2-3 seconds slower. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The Darlington folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we said earlier. It's why it was one of our keys to the race: strategy and tire wear. How to manage these tires, how to manage this pit stops. For this pit stop strategy right now, Brad Newman's half a track in front of everybody, if not more. And these guys are going to be closing in on him throughout the rest of this race with Brad pitting earlier. But that advantage he had for those 8 laps over Rube Phelps and even more, almost 15, 16 laps over Jason Holdsworth, is quite an advantage. I guess Jason's going to be the one to watch what lap times he is going to be putting down, as he is 23 seconds behind this lead. Oof, tough break right now for the 8 truck again. So he gets held up a little bit there by that 26, Zach Blundell, coming off of turn 2. Just on fresher tires and caught that 26 in a bad spot. It's going to cost him some much valuable time. Keeps it rolling, keeps the front end on it. Lives to see another day. He catches that 66 just about in the same spot. He's really got to roll out of the gas. Even more bad luck happened 2 laps in a row. Carbon copy for this 8 truck. Just typical Darlington. You're on these fresher tires. You're so much quicker than some of these guys because of this tire fall off. And then you just catch them in a really bad spot like that. Sometimes you have to anticipate that and roll out sooner and make sure you catch them on the straightaway.
Yeah, you basically kind of have to be 2 steps ahead at every point on this track. Because like you said, things can tighten up real quick. And if you're caught flat-footed, it usually means you might be flat right-sided or flat front nose if you're not careful.
We mentioned it earlier, it's almost like they're driving a different class. You have to pass them sometimes as if you are multi-class road course racing, where you have to set up passing, slower GT3 cars on the straightaway. It's kind of how it is here with this tire delta, 3-4 seconds on a 1 mile racetrack. That's quite a difference between some of these trucks who haven't pitted or some of these trucks with on older tires, as everybody's just about made a stop. But everybody's made a stop over a 20-lap range, and we'll be seeing people coming down for their second stop very shortly. I imagine Brad's going to be coming down within the next 15-20 laps.
Absolutely,
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? As we are going to step away and go to a quick commercial break here, we'll be back with the second half of this race from Darlington.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Darlington. Out here in this very interesting Southern Thunder Truck Series race. Brad Newman still your leader, but we got a new second place truck out there. Jason Holdsworth closing in on Brad Newman. That lead has gone from 20 seconds down to 10 seconds, and here's how he got the job done on Ruben Phelps a couple laps ago. This is coming off of turn 2. Just those new tires giving him that little bit extra traction enabled him to get back in that gas sooner. And he carried that speed all the way down to turn 3. He really didn't get too much hold up there from Ruben. Pretty smart play there, just to let that 8 truck by with a little bit fresher tires and much faster pace, as they are both kind of working together to try to close in on Brad.
Newman's in.
And Newman's down to come down and make his second pit stop. I was just telling these guys he's going to be pitting soon. And here he comes. Lap 65. Went about 5 laps longer than last time. But at the side of his pit stop, he is ahead by 9 seconds. So now Brad's going to be going back out there and making up time again on Jason Holdsworth and Ruben Phelps. Kind of putting these guys in a very, very weird box. Be interesting to see how this all works out.
So
I imagine Brad's going to come out and be about half a second quicker than Jason and expand on that 9-second gap. But how does it work out at the end? Imagine everybody's going to be making one more stop. So Brad's got himself quite a gap to gain.
The math ain't quite mathin' for me, because with Newman and Ruben pitting now, they're gonna have to make one more stop after this point.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
But they'll have that little bit extra rubber later in the race. Because now they'll be able to go. It'll just be interesting to see when everybody makes this final stop, because as of right now, Brad Newman's got himself about a lap and a half to gain, and his tires aren't going to be that much newer than Jason Holdsworth. He's not going to be 2 seconds quicker. He might be about a second quicker, though. He's not going to be putting as much of a gain. But at the moment, I'd say he has a net gain of about 9 seconds. And that is going to be the race right now, is that 9 seconds at the moment. Everybody's have to make at least one more stop, but some guys might even try to have to do 2. I think that's the big what if here, is if some of these guys on this longer strategy have to make 2. Just because of tire wear, we're getting caught up in a strategy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out quite as well as they're hoping for. I mean, I could very well be wrong. We'll see, obviously. Absolutely. Yeah. But
I have faith in Brad here, but at the moment, I think Jason's got the upper hand, because either Brad has to make up a lap and a half, or he has a 9-second lead. It's either one or the other. Right now, Brad putting in a lap time about a second and a half quicker, a little less than about a second and a quarter quicker than Jason. That's a pretty big delta there if he can make that last. The trouble is making that last. Because at one point, at some point, these tires are going to even out more and more. And I think another big thing that we've seen play a factor throughout the night are these lap trucks, as Brad closes in for 4th place here on Brenton Henderson. With this big of a tire delta as we have, I think sticking with Brad and seeing what kind of interesting characters he comes across as he catches this 73 truck here coming off of turn 2. Lifts for him, gets around him on the outside. Kind of costs him a little bit of time there. And that is what we have to watch out for, because an untimely caution can undo everybody's strategies and really put Brad and Brenton and Ruben in a box.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised Ruben pitted as well. I thought Ruben could have gone much longer on his tires. Maybe he wasn't feeling it in his set, and felt like coming down and pitting was the better choice. I feel like that might have been a mistake on Ruben's part, as that 242 gets loose right in front of Brad Newman. Hits the wall a ton. That is what we are talking about with these slower trucks. You just never know what you are going to come across. See, he gets a little sideways here in the center. That was the next time around, I guess. Doesn't even have Brad behind him. Brad actually has gone around Jason Holdsworth and gotten his lap back. This is still the replay here of the 242 hitting the wall, so that's Holdsworth going around him. But Brad is back on the lead lap. He had gone around that 8 truck of Jason Holdsworth. Making those inroads here, trying to make his strategy work. Still kind of puzzled by all the strategies at the moment myself. But I feel like he's got to make up this gap if he is going to make it work. And if he's going to do it, the fresh tires are going to help. I kind of feel for Ruben Phelps. I feel like Ruben saw that big gap that Brad had and felt like he had to switch to this strategy. He is on the back foot right now. So he's about 12 seconds behind Jason Holdsworth still. Trying to close in on him to get his lap back, as he's got a couple lap trucks in front of him. He's going to give it around that 73er Mark Grocott and then go back to the inside here, Brian Blundell. As you see, those fresher tires just give him all the maneuverability in the world and all that he needs to get around these guys. You catch them at such a pace, it is bound to cause an issue here at one point.
Absolutely. You know, that's another trademark of Darlington, because this track is just so narrow. It's funny, you have all this paved space, but only like 2 lanes of it we actually use here.
And it used to be narrower. It used to be just 1 lane, and they widened it in the mid 60s, and it's still narrow. This is wide by the 60 standard. As we go check back in with Ruben Phelps, he is still one of the fastest trucks on track, just so far back as he is trying to close in on Bretton Henderson for 5th. I think our 3rd place runner deserves a little bit of a shout out. James Watson running in 3rd with that timely pit stop thanks to his very brilliant crew chief.
Oh!
And there it is. Caution on the speedway in turn 1 and 2.
I think it might be Brian Blundell.
8th place, Colin Bennett stopped to the inside. We were talking about it. An untimely caution. And that is definitely going to prove untimely for Ruben Phelps, as he was stuck a lap down. Oh, it wasn't Colin Bennett. It happened in front of him. That's Peter Jones getting into the 81 of Brenton Henderson. And Peter Jones goes around. That's going to be some big damage there as we watch it on the replay. So you see Peter Jones on a little bit fresher tire here, closing in rapidly on that 81 truck. I feel like this is just maybe some guys not... The Darlington taking a bite right here.
Oh,
Just
wow.
goes in for a pass at a really bad spot, and the 81 hits the wall, and he gets suckered into hitting them both. And around goes the 66 into the wall and around. That is some big damage there. 242 spun out trying to avoid the wreck and did a good job not piling into it. But that's just Darlington being Darlington, taking a bite right there. Making that late dive into turn 1 and that first apex there, that is never going to work. So we got some trucks down on pit road here. So this is how it's going to settle out. We got 5 trucks on the lead lap. Obviously our leader, Jason Holdsworth, Matty Ray, James Watson, Brad Newman had gotten back around onto the lead lap, and our lucky dog Oh, the real lucky dog is Reuben Phelps. So he was the lucky dog and gets back around onto the lead lap. We got 5 fast trucks all competing for this win here. The safety car is going to come back around. We're going to get one to go. We're going to be back racing here very quickly. One wave around car. It's going to be that 86 of Brian Brundell. He did not come down pit road under yellow. He actually just pitted a couple laps before the yellow came out, so he was stuck 2 laps down. I was going to get one of them back right here. Kind of hope and pray for another yellow. But we talked about it, James. You know, we talked about it under commercial break too. These lap trucks causing a little bit of an issue with some fresher tires behind them and causing an untimely yellow, and we sure as hell got it.
Absolutely, and now this is going to be interesting because now we're not going to have to pit again. This is going to be 100%, 100% and full tire conservation. It's going to be who can save the best, not set up for a strategy. Straight up tire
strategies
save.
are out the window. We're basically restarting this race here with 50 laps to go. And it's going to be Jason Holdsworth, Brad Newman, James Watson, Matty Ray, and Reuben Phelps.
I believe Brad Newman said he didn't take tires because we're at a tire deficit. So this is going to be interesting.
We will see that. As we are underway here. 49 laps to go. Sorry, 48 laps to go, sorry. From Darlington Raceway, Jason Holdsworth, your leader, coming off of turn 2. Brad Newman's going to settle in second. James Watson in third. Behind them, Matty Ray. That is your top 4. Behind him, Brent Henderson, lap down in that lucky dog spot, in 6th spot, and Reuben Phelps. Lucky dog, our last yellow, up to 5th place here, 6th on track. These guys are all, as James said, playing the tire conservation mode. 48 laps is a long way to go. We only saw 2-3 trucks go that distance on the first run there, and James was one of them, but so was that 8 truck of Jason Holdsworth. It'll be interesting to see who saves the most and who is able to save the best and have that little bit extra speed to get something done later in the run. Reuben Phelps here, trying to hold off the 86 of Brian Blundell. The 86 is going to be up on the wheel trying to get to that 81 truck who was involved in that last yellow. Came down, got some fresh tires though. Interesting to see if his damage causes any sort of deficit for him later in the race.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to help, that's for sure.
Going back out front, Jason Holdsworth. 2.5 seconds right now over Brad Newman. Maybe Brad wasn't lying when he said he didn't take tires. But if he did, I'd imagine you would have been right around him much quicker.
Yeah, even used tires for Brad Newman is still better than my fresh tires because while he's at a tire deficit, I'm at a talent deficit.
Well, you're also saving as well. Try and get yourself to the end. As you have a mirror full of Matty Ray. Matty Ray trying to take this 3rd position. And fly the flag for TWS team right there. They've had some bad luck tonight with Lachlan Urquio dropping out of the race. The 81 getting involved in that last wreck. Matty Ray's the only one on the lead lap in contention to win this deal. He's going to try to get around James Watson. Put some pressure on him. One of the things about tire conserving is you don't want to lose spots. So you try to save tires while not losing position. And if you're somebody in Matty Ray's spot, you're trying to push the car in front of you and make them burn it up while saving your stuff as much as you can. A whole lot of mind games here with the tire saving.
Absolutely, and
Big mental part of oval racing right here.
Yes, sir. It takes so much discipline. Us drivers, we want to go fast, go 110% from the drop of the green, but we know we can't do that if we want to contend for the top spot and be around in contention at the end of the race. So you just
Right
have
now.
to tell yourself, yeah, I'm losing time, but I'll get it back.
Right now, Jason Holdsworth running a little quicker than Brad Newman, 0.4 quicker last couple laps, using up a little more tire. Second fastest truck on the racetrack was Matty Ray last time around, and it was James closing in on Brad. Maybe Brad didn't take those tires. Can't ever trust him though.
Yeah,
What
I
he
feel like
says and what he does.
I feel like the fact that I'm starting to catch him up, I feel like what he says is true because of, talent deficit and whatnot.
Well, get on around him and start closing in on that 8 truck.
Yeah, that
If you
ain't
get around
happening.
Brad, you can focus on trying to save your stuff better than the 8, which you are doing. If you're slower than the 8 now, you might not be later.
We'll see. Honestly, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I just wouldn't fool around with Brad on his old tires as you close in off of turn 4 here. Battle for second heating up. James Watson closing in on Brad Newman. Going to make the move going down to turn 1. We didn't see that work earlier as Brad gets up into the wall. Trying to give James room there. Matty Ray's going to slip on by and take that 3rd spot. Into the wall goes that 33. Now he's got a mirror full of the lap truck of Brenton Henderson. I imagine Brad's going to be driving hard here trying to get back around Matty Ray. But the tires just aren't going to allow it. He was at a tire deficit on the caution, he had said, and that's why he might not have taken tires, but he is paying the price for it now as he's going to fall back behind 2nd and 3rd and drop to 4th. And Ruben slowly catching in. Ruben Phelps kind of struggling this run. I feel like he might have not taken tires as well.
Yeah, since he was on the same strategy as Brad, I imagine he's in the same exact boat as Brad right now, unfortunately.
Well, some of these guys, they might be coming down making another stop. They have to continue going on like this. It's Jason Holdsworth ahead by 5 seconds over James. Could it be pace, or could it be just him burning his stuff up a little too much right now? If I was James, I would just maintain my pace. Try to maintain my stuff the best I can, and maybe it will fall off for that 8.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the latter, but I think it might be the former.
Big chunk of the wall. 8 and up right there by that 81 truck. We've seen him get up into the wall tonight. I think we've seen everybody get up into the wall at one point or another tonight. It's another one of those things about Darlington. Notice a couple stripes on that 39 truck right there. He's got a
You see nothing.
Matty Ray. Matty Ray slowly closing back in. These two kind of picking up the pace a little bit. Matty Ray applying that pressure. Trying to induce a mistake out of James. Try to run him up into that wall or burn his stuff up a little too much. You see that high line here working for that 83 truck. Gets the run down the straightaway. Gonna have to fight for another day as James gonna hold him off. 4 now. So that lead for Jason Holdsworth is up to 6 seconds. Pretty far up the road at the moment. Making it work though. A big battle right here behind them with Matty Ray. Not Matty Ray, sorry, Brad Newman. He's got a mirror full. Brian Blundell and Brenton Henderson. This is Matty Ray on the lead lap. 2 lap trucks behind him on fresher tires. It's quite the conundrum. These lap trucks really trying to show a lot of respect to Brad Newman with these his lead lap status and being one of the fastest drivers in the league. But they have the fresher tires right now. And they're trying to work themselves around because these two trucks are racing for that lucky dog spot as the 86 gets to the inside. Not able to get the job done. Here comes that 81 to his right rear, trying to take that lucky dog spot away. He's going to hit the wall. Brad Newman gets a little piece of that wall.
Wow.
That 86 is going to sneak on by to 33. Put a truck between him and Brenton. But Brenton's not going to have any of it as he gets to the inside of Brad. Brad wisely rolls out of that gas. But now Brad has a mirror full of Ruben Phelps for that 4th position. Ooh, big sideways there for that 81 truck right in front of Brad. And here comes Ruben to the inside down to turn 1. 4th place is his. Coming across the line, that was 31 laps to go for him. He's going to take away that 4th spot, try to put some distance between him and Brad. Brad right now 13 seconds behind the leader on a tire deficit and struggling. He's going to be trying to keep up with Ruben. But right now he's going to have to settle for 5th. Nothing changes. To go back up for this battle to 2nd spot here. James Watson, Matty Ray going at it for 2nd here. Less than 30 laps to go here at Darlington. James has had a pretty good race tonight. Started 7th, has worked his way up to 2nd. With the strategy and the timely caution for him. Kind of the same deal for Matty Ray. Been a top 3-4 truck all night. Started 4th. Been in the top 5 since the green flag. Really hasn't made many mistakes. I think that's one truck we have not seen into the wall. As Matty Ray. Done a great job, and right now he is putting and applying the pressure to James Watson for 2nd spot. Really making that high line work in turns 3 and 4. Still a long way to go. You have to kind of tell yourself that in these positions where you can use too much tire up racing somebody. 30 laps to go, that's plenty of time to burn them up and have nothing left at the end.
Absolutely. This is, like I said earlier, this is an eternity at Darlington.
Well, it's hard to do. You know, I was in a race just last night and found myself struggling to save tire while racing people. It's just, it's the ultimate catch-22. You don't want to lose spots, you don't want to lose ground, but you don't want to lose grip.
Yeah, and the guys...
Second. Go ahead.
And the guys that find that balance of being able to push and battle while still keeping something underneath them, it's crazy. You know, that's where the true aliens lie, is being able to be fast but not be hard on your stuff.
And one little bit of interesting strategy taking place just now. Ruben Phelps on pit road. 25 laps to go. Is that enough time for him to come back out on some fresher tires and make some gains? Maybe get his lap back and close in on Brad Newman and some of these other trucks struggling towards the end. As this battle for 2nd, hotter than ever, as Matty Ray all over the back bumper of this 39 truck. Got to be getting James a little bit loose there going down to turn 1. How close he was. As they are tight coming down this backstretch. Expect Matty Ray to go to the top, and he does. Trying to get that run down the straightaway. He might be setting himself up pretty good here. Going down to turn 1 as James gets a little tight coming off of turn 4. Here comes Matty Ray to the back bumper. Gives him a shove. Man, I think he could have pulled out and passed you right there. He had a big enough run.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't either. He gave you the big old bump draft. Kind of playing with your head a little bit to get a little bit loose coming off of turn 2. But maintaining that 2nd spot. Just to check back in on Ruben Phelps with his pit stop, he dropped from 4th down to 7th spot. He is a lap down in 7th position. Pretty far back behind James at the moment. But he will be coming up shortly on those fresher tires. And these guys starting to slip slide around as Matty Ray with another big run down the straightaway. I feel like it is inevitable when he gets around James At the moment, James doing a masterful job of holding off this 83 truck. Matty Ray not going away lightly.
Yeah, I seem to be better than him on the exit of turn 2. I'm able to carry a lot more speed off.
It's just the dirty air, too. As he is pretty close at the moment going down turn 3. I think he's going to get a little bit of a run here on this straightaway. Arcs that corner, gets back in the gas, and here he comes, Matty Ray, off of turn 4. He's going to get back to your bumper, give you the shove again. One thing that has happened with you guys racing so tight is you guys are starting to rope and close back in on Jason Holdsworth a little bit, matching his lap times. Coming back around, 20 laps to go here. Jason Holdsworth out front by 7 seconds. Here comes Matty Ray to the outside. He is to the quarter panel. Off of turn 4, he's going to stay out of that wall. He was a mere centimeters off of that wall coming off of turn 4. Gets the job done. Gets the job done.
Oh, wow.
Phelps with some more issues coming back down pit road. It's some issues for that 06 truck. He is going to go down to maybe even 8th position here with his second pit stop here on this last run. Not sure what happened there at the 06. Very interesting. Like maybe he pitted, got a penalty, or pitted and forgot to take tires or something. Not sure. Matty Ray up into the wall through the center of 1 and 2. That's going to give James Watson a little bit of an opportunity going down to turn 3 to get this spot back. Matty Ray holds tough on that outside. Coming off of turn 4, side by side. It is going to be a drag race down to turn 1. Who is going to win out and play the chicken again going down to turn 1? Neither of them. Side by side, maintaining it together. Looks like Matty Ray is going to pull ahead and win out, getting back into the gas on the high side. Smart, hard racing there by you both. With 20 to go, you might have something for that 8 truck up ahead. Because he is starting to struggle.
Yeah, we'll see, but that's a long way to go. We're going to need something significant, a serious mistake from...
Ooh, 81 truck
like
in the
that.
wall right in front of this 8. You've seen it time and time again. Slower lap trucks becoming an issue for these leaders. And there it is one more time. Looks like that 81 just kind of got stuck on that wall. So another thing that happens here. We've seen him hit him a couple times tonight. Darlington has another victim, and it is Bretton Henderson. Check back in on this battle for second. Matty Ray. Last time around, he was half a second quicker than Jason Holdsworth. If the math is math and half a second quicker, he might just get there. As the pursuit is on for this 83 truck, trying to get after that 8. Might have used up his rubber a little too hard there at the beginning of this run. Last time around, they matched each other's lap times. So I guess that half a second might have been him avoiding that 81. Coming to the line, 14 laps to go. Jason Holdsworth. Matty Ray coming off of turn 4, still with a mirror full of James Watson. Here comes Ruben Phelps to the inside on some fresher tires. Ruben has had some issues here over this last run that we talked about. Came down for a pit stop about 15 laps ago, then came down again about 10 laps ago. Now he is back out there. He is 3 laps down in the 7th position. Might have a shot closing in on that 81 truck. He almost gets to the back of Matty Ray there. Not sure what is going on with Ruben Phelps. Kind of looked like he lost where he was going down to turn 3. That is not what Matty Ray wanted to see in his mirror, not what James Watson wanted to see out of his windshield.
It
Something
sure
going on
was
with that
interesting.
06 truck tonight. That's not usually Ruben Phelps, so be interesting to see if he's got some sort of computer issue, connectivity issue, maybe some lag, some really bad spots. Something going on with that 06. He's going to get back on that horse and try to get back around James and Maddie. Interesting to see how this plays out. If I was you, James, I'd let him go and see if he can mess around with that 83 truck a little bit. A little too far back, I'd say. Yeah, he gave up himself. Ruben says he's not going to take it. As James Watson sets back on the pursuit of Matty Ray for second spot. A half a second behind the 83. It's about our closest battle on track. Pretty good run tonight out of James. Like we said, started back in 7th, worked his way up into the 3rd spot, was running 2nd for a good part of this race. Some good strategy by, like we said, his brilliant crew chief, and they've made it work tonight.
Yeah, I'm absolutely blown away right now. I did not expect to be in this position, that's for sure.
Top 3 run. At least I ain't got to interview you. He's got to interview 2 people. You haven't come across that yet.
No, we have not.
No interview for James. This whole race has been one. We go back up front. Jason Holdsworth still with an 8-second lead. Down to about 7 here is Matty Ray. Kind of closing in a little bit last couple laps. But Jason is holding strong as he works his way around that 242. Less than 10 laps to go here. We're going to come back around to 8 laps to go. Almost over and done with here at Darlington. As it has really been quite an interesting race. Kind of neutered at the end with Brad not taking tires on that last yellow. I feel like we really could have had something special if that wasn't the case. Brad kind of made out pretty luckily there too with Ruben's issue, and he's going to come home in the 4th position if nothing else changes here for him. Right now he's about 25 seconds ahead of 5th. But for Brad, top 5's not that bad at the moment. Battle for a second though, heating back up.
Yeah, it's a good point stay for Brad. When you have a race like this, you know, that's all you can ask for. You know, at the very least, you can go, still gained. Could be worse.
Strategy didn't work out. He needed another yellow. Still needs another. He still can get it, though. That yellow comes out right now. He's sitting pretty. Happened at IRP. This is battle for second, heating back up. Matty Ray, the mirrorful of Blue Thunder, James Watson, trying to close in for second spot. To the back bumper here. 6 laps to go. Not much between these two trucks. They've been pretty close together this whole last half of the race, really, since the first cycle. James to the inside, down below that apron. There is grip down there. You can go down there. He's going to maintain. Stick to the back bumper of Matty Ray down the straightaway. Trying to induce a mistake. Get side by side with him. Matty holding tough off of turn 2. James looking to the inside in turn 3. This is where he's been stronger. On the bottom of 3 and 4. Seems like that high line that Matty Ray's been using for the most of this run was faster earlier, but right now it seems to have eaten up his tires a little more than James, especially in turns 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 3 and 4. Oh, sideways for that 83. Great job holding on to that truck. James gave him a little bit of a lift as he goes down to the inside in turns 3 and 4, trying to make it work. It's a hard pass to make there, as Matty Ray's able to roll back in the gas even with that truck yawed out. You saw it there on the camera angle. sideways off the corner as they are still tight, fighting down into turn 1. Closing in, James Watson to the inside. Coming back around to 2 laps to go. The battle for second, heating up. Down into turn 1, it's going to be a drag race. Who is going to win out? That 83 keeps it off the wall miraculously side by side. He's going to have to lift a little more. Finally gets into it just a tiny bit. James Watson clears him off of turn 2. New P2. That 39 of James Watson. Big move to get around Matty Ray as we are coming to the white flag. Jason Holdsworth on the final lap. Ahead by 8 seconds over James Watson, our new second place truck. But this 8 has been untouchable for most of the night. On this whole last run, he got away on the restart and just drove away. Big win. Kobe's pick. Jason Holdsworth takes home the checkered flag here at Darlington. The battle for second not ended just yet as James Watson comes off of turn 4. He's going to come home second. Matty Ray third. That is your podium finish. Great job there, James. How you feeling after that second place? I'd say he's feeling pretty good. He's at a loss for words. As we check in, we're going to watch our winner, Jason Holdsworth, do some donuts. Your finishing order here tonight, Jason Holdsworth first. Your winner, James Watson, reporter in the race, finishing second. That's his best finish I've seen. Matty Ray coming home in third. Brad Newman fourth. Brian Blundell, a great run, fifth place. Brenton Henderson, some trouble tonight, hit the wall a couple times, brings it home in sixth. Ruben Phelps in the 06 comes home seventh. Colin Bennett in eighth. Mark Grocott limps home in ninth, and Peter Jones in 10th.
Okay, so
trouble tonight. Zach Blundell's going to finish 11th. Nigel Seidel in 12th. Andy J in 14th. Ryan M. Barber in 13th. And Lachlan Urquio, with some connection issues, finishes 14th. How you feeling? What's up, James?
So my headset battery died with like 5 or 6 laps to go.
Well, you came home a second either way. We're going to step away for a quick ad. We'll be back with your interviews. And we'll be back with your podium interviews tonight.
The future of virtual motorsports is now. This September, the heart of sim racing beats in Chicagoland as the Sim Gaming Expo takes over the Schaumburg Convention Center, September 5th through the 7th. Go wheel to wheel in our competition area. Test the latest gear, meet top brands, creators, and celebrate with fellow sim racing enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or new to the sport, this is your chance to be part of history. To purchase tickets and see the full exhibitor lineup, visit simgamingexpo.com.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway here. Big win tonight for Jason Holdsworth. We're going to be interviewing our first and third place finishers tonight, as our own James Watson came home in second. I'm with your James is going to be with your third place finisher, Matty Ray.
Matty, James in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy, bud. There you go, man.
Oh man, that was a heck of a battle we had there in the closing laps. An absolute duel. Well, we heard my perspective of it. Take us through yours.
Yeah, well, I was just having fun, really, because I knew you wouldn't mind if I rubbed you out. But it gave you a couple of bumps in there. You still got a rear bumper on it, is that all right? It's not too damaged.
Oh yeah.
Is that going into memorabilia later?
Oh, absolutely.
No, that was like I said, I was just having fun with you, man. Well, I knew we'd be on the same sort of pace as usual, but I thought it looked to me like you were struggling towards the end there. So I'm like, oh, I've got him here, because I was like saving a bit. But then, like right at the end, I'm like, cheeky dog, because I seen you coming on the relative. I'm like, he was saving. So that was wicked, man. I was going to try and block you a bit more, but I didn't want us to wreck or anything stupid like that. So no, that was wicked fun, man. But yeah, I mean, the first stint before the first stop, I made a dog's breakfast of it. I was just driving stupid. I was almost going to say the poo word. But, just making rookie errors, simple unforced errors, and just overdriving it, and sort of missed my pre-race adjustments and went a bit too tight, and it stopped turning on me. And so yeah, I thought lap 45 and then 90, I'll grab another set. And when I made the first adjustments, I put a heap on the purchase to try and help it, and that really did. It came to life a bit more and felt a lot more better. And then the yellow fell, which I really wasn't expecting that one. And just didn't make any more changes and left it at that. And yeah, then away we went. That was wicked fun, man. It was good racing here as usual.
Oh, it was so much fun. We were putting on an absolute show. And yeah, take us through the strategy, because that's a tough thing about Darlington, is just trying to figure out your pit strategy and when the right time is to pit.
It is, and I mean, typically when I'll come here or a track like this, I'll gauge it off how my first stint goes, sort of thing. Like tonight, I was really struggling. It didn't take long before the front right just melted off the thing. So I was like, I almost came in earlier, and I saw how early Brad went in, and I thought, he's either undercutting severely or he's going to pull an extra stop. And then after his second stop, I'm like, he's not going to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, why is he doing that sort of thing? So I'm sort of, doing the calculations in my head. And I'm like, no, I don't think he'll get it. But then I'm like, well, shit, should I be coming down a bit earlier maybe? And yeah, so it was just sort of, I mean, like, as I'm sure you guys or anyone else that does this sort of thing knows, like, you can come in with any plan you want, but 99% of the time you throw it out the window by lap 10 anyway. So yeah, just usual thing, play it by ear, do a bit of scrambling and see how we end up at the end, sort of thing.
And it ended up very well for the both of us. And any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, well, of course I get to give TWRS a shout out for providing, well, I assume you as well, and myself and the rest of SRM, all our setups. And yeah, Mitchell Hunt there, of course, has been chatting to us in the weekend, giving us a massive help with the setup and making it better and faster and different versions. And yeah, just a really good company to be, or group to be a part of, or family, I should say, almost. And we've also got Scotch Race Fuels, Cut 6 Sticker Co. that help us out with, Scotch has put up a bit of money for the league and help me out with putting on sessions, and then Cut 6 Stickers make us some stickers. They're a good little dude who does things at a reasonable price and good quality. And then Ray down at Moondog, he does t-shirts, sign writing, all that sort of thing. And a couple of charities we like to shout out: Tourette Syndrome Australia and the Alopecia Foundation. Of course, all the boys at SRM are always there and helping us out whenever they can. And Inside Lane Productions, Kobe, you blokes, of course, for jumping in the booth and putting in the hard yards. We get the fun of doing the easy part. So it's really, without all you guys, we wouldn't have all this to go back and watch. So big thank you to all of them guys and everyone who watches and everyone who comes out and races. It's been a lot of fun, this series. I like it.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Matty, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Cheers, brother. Yeah, have a good one, mate. Thank you.
Alright, now back to Sean for a race winner.
Jason Holdsworth tonight, our big winner. How you feeling after that, Jason? Came home the big winner after, battling with Brad, taking off at the start and taking advantage of that caution.
Yeah, would have been interesting if there was no caution. I wanted to see what happened with Brad with the extra pit stop. I didn't know if I was going to get him or not, and that would have made it interesting. But obviously, him not taking tyres after that caution, they just made him fall back. So, that was it. Took away that.
Yeah, we were pretty bummed about that as well. Kind of felt like it neutered the finish.
Yeah, I really don't know if I would have caught him or not. So it would have been far more interesting because we would have been chasing each other.
It definitely was interesting out there. Another thing that we saw throughout the whole race was some of the big tire delta. I felt like you guys were going 2-3 seconds slower at the end of these runs, and moving around some of the slower trucks on older tires was really interesting from your point of view a couple times. And we saw it throughout the whole race. And did you feel like that caution was inevitable at some point because of the big gap between the faster and the slower trucks?
No. Well, Darlington usually have a lot more green flag races than you think, just because on the apron where most of the wrecks go down, it doesn't bring it out. So I was anticipating a green flag race, as I assume most people would. There's always this place is tough to overtake, and obviously with lap traffic, it's a challenge as well because there's very little grip. But yeah, I was on that last stint, I was all over the shop. I don't know if you caught that, but I left my short fuel adjustments for nearly a full fuel run, so it was a tough to handle late at the end.
Yeah, we noticed you were struggling a little bit there towards the end, but either way, you are a big winner tonight. Came out in the top spot. Anybody you want to shout out and thank for your first place finish?
Yeah, just the Nitro team, and JT who builds the shop setup. Always him, just use that and just loosened it up a little bit with some track bar. And you guys for putting on the broadcast in the series.
Well, congratulations, Jason Holdsworth, your big winner tonight. Send it back over to James. James, second place tonight. How are you feeling after all of that?
Confused, honestly. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting to be up here in this position. Even though I do like Darlington and I have good runs here, I'm much more of a short track and a road course driver. But I feel like this place does fit in well with my driving style, having to be conservative on the tires, smooth with the inputs, and if I'm able to just stay disciplined on my tire saving, I can usually end up pretty well. But I never would have dreamed second, that's crazy for me, to be able to finish again ahead of some of the top guys here. So I just absolutely thrilled and excited and happy, grateful for this win. It's cool to get a top 3 finish as the broadcaster.
Well, congratulations, man. Came home second tonight. That is going to wrap it up here from Darlington. I want to thank our sponsors, Ducci Mobile, Scotcher Race Fuels, TWRS Setups. Next week, Echo Park Speedway, Atlanta, restrictor plate racing. How are you looking forward to that? These guys are going to be all over each other, going to be 3-4 wide throughout the race. It's going to be a heck of a show. It's going to be Legacy Atlanta as well. Old tires, we're going to be seeing some tire conservation there as well, like we saw tonight. Big winner tonight, Jason Holdsworth. Thank you to our sponsors. Can't wait to see you next week. See you guys then.